I've spent the last hour setting up ring light, hot shoe adapters. I've never googled up to figure out why they're called hot shoe adapters. Somebody thought it was a good idea at the time. And do I want the ball joint on the bottom of the webcam, or do I want just the hot shoe adapter? How am I going to connect that to the ring light? How bright is the ring light? And now I understand why people who are serious about doing videography work set up a studio, so you can set it up once and leave it set up so that you only have to tune the fine bits of the setup whenever you do them. And it all seems a lot of messing around to get things recording. For example, this is using the webcams on the microphone, which are stereo and abysmal. I mean, they're quite good for webcam microphones. The stereo separation is about 2 inches, and the maximum sample rate is 32,000 samples per second, or tape recorder quality as Windows calls it. Well, that's subjective, and we could argue that until the cows come home, as long as somebody's remembering to sample the fact that the cows are coming home. Moo. Because heaven knows what they sound like and at what sample rate. If I use something like the Rode NT1 that's on the table next to me, I'll get 48,000 samples per second, and some will feel, I got woken up by a scam call. Gotta love that. Some will feel that that will be a better option, but then keeping the Rode out of the shot is going to be somewhat challenging, because you don't want to block the camera with the microphones. There's a cup of coffee here on the table off to my left, which will probably be in the shot. I don't really care about that. I mean, if you know me, people used to buy me cups of coffee for Christmas. Coffee cups for Christmas. No, I'm not editing the video because that's far too much work. Reaper does have some video editing capabilities, and provided that you turn ripple editing off and don't mess up the synchronization between the audio and video, the majority of the world will be happy with you. And I think the thing that fascinates me is that the point I was going to make in this video, and I've spent 3 or 4 minutes waffling about nothing, is I am amazed by how many people don't want to talk. And when I say don't want to talk, I mean so many companies don't call us, we'll call you. I mean, in the early 80s, that was a joke. Don't call us, we'll call you. It was what the talent agencies said to the talent that they didn't really want to hire, or weren't sure if they were going to hire unless everybody else got sick, and then we were going to use them. And now the government departments are like, check our website. Use our app. What's our app? It's a heaping pile of code written around their heaping pile of a website. And yes, I'll go on record saying that the website's fairly accessible, the information is relatively complete. Is it a dog's breakfast? Yes, but I don't have a dog, so that's not very helpful. Is it difficult to find things? Yes. one person's idea of putting everything in a place that's easy to find is not a version of somebody else's putting things in a place where things are easy to find. Just remember you're unique, just like everybody else. And all their messages, you can check out Online Calculator. Our online calculator and claim tracker, if you can find it, will tell you the progress of your claim. There is no need to call us. Well, no, except I was wondering how my claim was going, and I could spend 2 minutes saying, hey, how's my claim going? Oh, thanks. Okay, all right, thanks for letting me know. Or I could spend an hour and a half scrolling through countless pages that give me choices of what I want to claim for, claim they're going to pre-fill things. Well, they put my age in and a couple of other things, but then talk to me about benefits I've already got, like the disability support pension. Well, if you're pre-filling, you should know that I've already got that, and perhaps the system should be suggesting the things that I don't have. Just a thought. Because if I don't have them, maybe I want them. And the text from the roofing mob the other day, we are scheduling your appointment. Don't call us. We will notify you of when we're turning up. We will notify you if the appointment changes. And by the way, don't call us. Well, you've spent most of the message telling me how you don't want me to call you. Fine, I won't call you. Easy. I'm autistic enough that doesn't matter much. I can, well, allegedly autistic. I don't actually have an official diagnosis, but hell, anybody who knows me is probably like, yeah, Kerry, neurodivergent, autistic, ADHD, all over the shop. But we didn't know what autism was when... We didn't know what autism was when I was growing up. No, that was years ago. We just thought all the boys and girls were badly behaved. We didn't know it was neurodivergent or neurodiversity or gender diversity or some other sort of diversity that nobody's heard of or that we're currently researching and we're not quite sure how it works. And, everybody's traumatised. So, well, the majority of people are traumatised. We can't even figure out how to classify that. PTSD is different to complex PTSD, and a lot of work is done on classifying the types of trauma and whatever else, and it seems that not a lot of work is done on actually lifting the trauma, because I would have figured that lifting the trauma was probably more important than being able to classify it and write a big academic paper on what it is. But yeah, all this messaging's like, don't call us, text us to do this, text us to do that, email us to do this, email us to do that. If you don't have internet, you're up a very popular waterway without a method of propulsion in a very unpleasant conveyance. And if you don't have a mobile phone, see above, as above, so below. There are your Hermetic principles right there. And you've got a mobile phone, not to mention that two-factor codes through mobile phones are horrendously insecure. See SIM swapping attacks and the ability to take over phone towers and originate calls from various numbers. You can all look that up on YouTube if you want. There's a demo of somebody actually doing this and showing how you can make a call appear as though it's come from somebody else's number in a more complex way than just fudging the IDs. Loneliness is killing us, literally. Loneliness, depression and trauma is killing us. by the thousands. And nobody wants to talk. I want to know how we got here. How did we get here? Did we all hide behind our screens and ignore the world to the exclusion of everything else? When I was young, it was the television. When you'd have a party, you'd all sit around and play board games that, well, maybe everybody else wanted to play them, but I didn't really want to. But we all pretended we wanted to play them, and we kind of had fun, and often we did. And now parties are all, watch this cool YouTube video I just saw, watch this TikTok, watch this cat video. Why? Because it's got 20 million views? You don't have a cat? Okay, well, if you don't have a cat, you better watch cat videos. And if you do have a cat, maybe you want to make some videos with your cat. I don't know. Maybe the cat doesn't want to make videos. I don't know if anybody's ever asked them. Probably not. They probably just want to pat or to sleep in the sun or do whatever cats do. And yeah, loneliness, depression and trauma is killing us by the thousands, literally. And I don't know anybody who knows what to do about it. Nobody. Everybody's going, yeah, it's a problem, but it's above our pay grade to fix it. Well, if we expect to go to Mars and long distance space travel at some point in the future, how are we going to deal with the social isolation and things like that that would result from being in those confined spaces for those times? And I mean, who's worried about that if, you know, the roofing company doesn't want me to call them? Centrelink doesn't want me to call them. The NDA doesn't mind too much if I call them, if I'm nice about it and I've taken my medication and I'm calm and collected and, hi, this is Kerry and I'm here to be very upset about something without actually sounding very upset, because if I sound very upset, you're going to end the call. You know it, I know it, we all know it. And it was 6 months after I started working there that we got told that we could actually end the call if we felt unsafe. Thanks. I planned to anyway, but for the first 6 months we were told we couldn't. Then something must have come down from on high to say, no, we can't actually do that. If they're feeling unsafe, they are allowed to end the call if it's really bad. But that was 6 months after seeing people literally walking out of the call centre in tears, broken, because whatever they'd gotten on their call had upset them. And we had access to counselling. I probably should have called them. Pretty sure I could have called them. I don't know what they would have told me, but maybe they would have told me something useful. Sorry if you're a counsellor and you're watching this, I apologise in advance. I'm a hypnotherapist, and well, we can either have a big fight about which therapy works better, or we could just agree that both are pretty effective if you've got the right people, and it depends on what the client, participant, victim needs as to what we're going to use. So I think that's about it. I think the video canvas is fixed, and well, if you watch this, I'm sorry, because there's not a huge point to it all, and I kind of think that, yeah, I'm just sort of saying that nobody really knows how to solve the big problems that we've got in the world. That people are lonely, people are starving, people don't have shelter, power, phone, technology, insert whatever it is that people don't have. And nobody seems to know what we're doing about it. Well, the very few that have got some ideas, they're not being listened to yet. I've lifted trauma from people. I have lifted trauma that people have had for 10 years. And it's the closest thing to a miracle I've ever seen. It really shocked me. I can't use the words that she used on YouTube without somebody getting upset, but she asked me what I'd done. I said I hadn't done anything. I just guided her through a procedure. She was the one that had done all the work. No, apparently that's not true. Apparently, according to, well, you must have done something. Well, I just guided you. You did the work. And she's like, you don't understand. I haven't been able to stop thinking about this for the last 10 years. I said, yeah, I understand perfectly what you're talking about. You know, flashbacks, oh, the horror. I get it. And yet, the number of therapists that lift trauma is terribly low. And the trauma just builds up, remains untreated, and literally tears families apart. So, is there hope? Probably. If you're in the right place with the right people at the right time. So, if you watch this, I'm sorry, this is time you won't get back. Stuff happens. And I don't expect to be making a lot of videos on my channel because it's a lot of faffing around for, well, something that most blind people don't see the point of, i.e. making video. If I ever get rich, somebody can film me while I rant or something. That's a joke, by the way. I don't think that would be a good watch. So, yeah, if you got to the end of this, I'm going to make another coffee and see if I can get the Dell booting off USB. And I've got a USB-C Extreme SSD that I have a copy of Diet Pi Linux installed on, and that will be what I am running the Legacy Navcoin software on, which is not called Navcoin anymore. It's called Start Nav or something. I have to go look it up. They changed the name of it. It's a Bitcoin fork. It's a privacy coin. The actual underlying work in the whole blockchain is actually quite impressive, but there's probably about maybe 1,000 people in the world that understand how it works, but that's how cryptocurrency is. The majority of people don't understand cryptocurrency. So anyway, I'm going to hit stop before I ramble on for way too long. It just seems pretty pointless to go to all this effort to set up the camera and then only record like 5 minutes of video. So yep, it's already twice as long as it should have been. If you're not having a good day, I hope you find something to do about it so it gets better. And if you are having a good day, don't go and annoy all the people that aren't having a good day by telling them to cheer up, because getting people undepressed is a bit harder than telling them to cheer up. Thanks for listening.